of which, I consider myself to be a part of and still believe in, is that we did not adapt quickly enough to the fact that there were people being left behind and that frustrations were going to flare up and that all these changes that were happening really quick, and you had to address them and speak to them. And in those environments, you then start getting a different kind of politics. You start getting politics that's based on that person's not like me, and it must be their fault. And you start getting a politics based on a nationalism that's not pride in country, but hatred for somebody on the other side of the border. And you start getting the kind of politics that does not allow for compromise because it's based on passions and emotions.
It's identity politics.
Identities and which is why, by the way, when I hear people say they don't like identity politics, they don't like. I think it's important to remember that identity politics doesn't just apply when it's black people or gay people or women.
No.
The folks who really originated identity politics were the folks who said, three-fifths clause and all that stuff. That was identity politics. That's still out there. Maybe that was a little too controversial for Houston, but
no, but
Jim Crow was identity politics. That's where it started. So part of what's happened is that when people feel their status is being jostled and threatened, they react. And what I would agree with is that the Washington consensus, whatever you want to call it, got a little too comfortable with, they're looking at GDP numbers and they're looking at, the internet, and everything's looking pretty great. And then particularly after the Cold War, Jim, after what you guys engineered, you had this period of great smugness on the part of America and American elites, thinking we got this all figured out. Remember, there were books coming out. That's the end of history, and
the end of history.
Yeah,
Francis Fukuyama.
It came back to bite us. So I don't know. That was kind of a long lecture there. I'm sorry. We're just trying to have a after dinner conversation. I should have thrown a joke in there or something.
No. Mr. Secretary, what do you want us